So here's the example of a Jetpack compose functions. So like this is a composable function, and every composable function is uh, annotated by a at the rate at composable. So what it does is uh, this function is called greeting, and it contains a text. So if you want to write something, a text on the screen, we just simply call the text method. It is defined in the library, and we simply pass in the string. So here we pass a hello and name. So name is a variable, and if we pass greeting world, it will just show hello world. I hope this is clear. And if you have any question, you can just write down in the chat box, and I will try to answer it. So up to this part, everything clear. Okay. So in today's session, we will be discussing about the layouts and how to layout different components of a jetpack composed in a efficient manner. Okay. So layouts mean how you lay out the widgets. So how you place the widgets in such a way it looks appealing. Okay. So if you want to create a UI, suppose this is one UI. So in this UI, the hello world is placed at the top of the screen. So this is also a layout. So layout basically means how you place the components of a app. Okay. So Jetpack Compose has many types of layouts, and today we will be discussing about the basic layouts components. Like the Jetpack provides basic layouts component like column, rows, and boxes. Okay. So in the column part, so basically if you want to lay something one on top of each other, we will use the column part. So you can see it in the diagram. So basically, this is one part, this is one part, and this is one. So everything is on top of each other. So to do that, we wrap the three components in a column. Okay, it will be more clear when I do the hands-on. Now, similarly for a row means we place all the widgets in a row. So each element will be placed in a row. So as you can see in the diagram, it will be the first widgets will be placed side by side. Okay, so the widgets will be placed side by side in a row. And if you don't define a layout, it will be default as box. Okay. So box means whenever we want to create a component which have stacked layout, like one on top of each other, like you can see there are overlapping widgets, like overlapping elements. So in that case, we will use a box component. So today we are going to create this uh, UI using the Jetpack Compose. So if you have any questions, you can write down in the chat box, and I'll try to answer them. So everything clear up to this point? can follow me along. You can follow me along the code. So I will start a new project, and you can follow me along, or you can do it later by yourself. So let's start. Go to Android Studio and click on Create New Project. So there you will find multiple options like basic activity and all. Choose empty compose activity to start your project, and just name your application like something like is the layout. So we will just type. Let's wait for the app to build. So yeah, in the boilerplate we got this hello, this greeting message, composable. Just increase the font size. I hope it is visible. So let's start. So we want to create something like this this hello world and hello compose. So as you can see, there are two rows. Okay. So in order to create rows, we need two columns, right? So first, just decompose this component into a smaller components. So see, there are two rows. Okay. And first, if we create the first row, the second row is just the same as the first row. The only difference is in the first row it is hello world, and in the second row it is hello compose. So if we create this first row, then we can easily create the second row as well. So see the first row. The first row contains two parts. Okay. So if you see, the first part contains hello world, and the second part contains a button. Okay. And in the first part there are two rows. Like first one is the hello, and second one is world. Okay. Uh, so first we will create the text part. Okay. So first we will create the text part. To see, now if now it is if we use a single text widget, then it will just show hello Android in a single row. But we want something like in the first row it will show hello, and in the second row it should show Android. So we can do something like hello, and there will be two text boxes. So this will be hello. In the preview we passed Android, so it will show Android. Let's build and refresh. But as you can see, it will overlap. Why? Because we haven't used. What widget should we use here? Just write down in the chat. Like see this diagram, and let me know what widget should be used here. Yeah, exactly. Follow. So just wrap these two widgets in a corner. You can do this by pressing Alt and dot, Alt and Enter. It's not showing any suggestions. But wait. Let's just place this in under column, and now it's hello Android. So now you can see you have two rows, hello Android. But our goal is to create this one. So see, there is a so there's a purple background, and so there's a purple background. So we have to create that one also. So if you're familiar with the material design, it's called surface. So if you're so anyone here from the web development who have used MUI, who have used MUI material UI. So surface is basically a container that can have elevation. Okay. So basically it's a wrapper. So let me show you. I create a surface. Surface. Let's just give it a color. So now we got a purple background with the text. Okay. So now we want to create one more thing. It's a button. Show more. So which widget should we use here? Again, just see the diagram. Let me know which widget should we use here. Yeah, exactly. It's row. Yeah, it's row. Because the row arranges the widget side by side. So we want something to be arranged on the side of the text. Okay. We want something on the right side of the text. So what we will do is first we will create the button. So it's in, we don't want some functionality, so we will just keep it blank. So, and then we can pass text. Show. So again, you can see it as overlapped. So we have to wrap it in a row. Why is it not giving me any suggestions? Okay, now it is placed side by side. But you can see it is the same color as the our button is more beautiful, right? But this doesn't look so beautiful. So what we can do is material UI. Actually, basically now Jetpack Compose by default uses material theme. Okay, so the material theme provides an outline button. Okay, so So now we got our button, we got our text. Now we just need to adjust some uh, padding and all, padding and outline this white space and some space between. So yeah, so how do we add paddings and all to this one? So how do we make it more beautiful like this one? Any ideas, guys? Actually, okay, there's one question. How do we change the color for hovering on the button? Actually, Manipa, actually we cannot hover on the app section. We can only do it for the in the web. So we don't have any hover function in the app. So, but we do have some focus state and all in the button. So you can check out the documentation for more information. Yeah, Sudhanshu. Yeah, modifier dot padding. Yeah, we can definitely add padding to make it more beautiful. So let's just try. So where should we add the padding, in the column part or the row part? So guys, where should we add the padding, in the row or column? Basically, this entire thing is the row, is the surface, and then we have the row, and then we have column, like this column and this column. So where should we add the padding? Yeah, exactly, row part. So let's just add some padding. So it will take in a modifier. So guys, what is a modifier? Tell me. Okay. So, yeah, exactly. Row part. Yes, Shruti. Yes, Suraj. Yes, Ronald. Yeah, it's row. So, so basically, modifier, we use modifiers to add some paddings, or we can add some colors, background colors, or we can definitely add shapes. Okay. So modifier, you can see modifier takes in various parameters. Like if you want to flip, like if you want to cut something in a shape like circle, we can adjust size using modifiers, and we can fill max size. Like if you want certain widgets to expand to the full width, we can use modifiers. So here we need just padding, so we will just go with the padding part. So let's just give it padding. Okay. Padding all around, so we will give okay. So this. So anyone has any idea what is DP? So what is DP? So DP is basically display pixels. Okay. So that is a unit to add padding. Just like in if you are into web development, so you know what is RAM. So it's basically a unit for the padding. Okay. So now we got the surface, but we can see that these two, the text and the button part, it's all together. We want everything to be apart. Like it should be on the left side. The text should be on the left side, and the show more button should be on the right side. So what should we do now? So we can definitely add some modifier to the column as well. So now you can see hello. Now you can see the hello Android is on the left side and the show more button is on the right side. So what is actually weight? We added a modifier called modifier.weight. So modifier.weight is basically means it will expand to the maximum width, and it won't overlap with the other widgets. So it won't overlap with the outline button, but it will expand to the maximum size. Okay, and 1f means one fraction. Okay. So sharpening, do we have any winners now? Okay, so the question one is which listener is called for the device to register and enter the key press. Let's see who wins and who gets the swags. We have some option swags for the winners. So congratulations, Priyanshu, on being the first to answer the question. But sorry, we cannot give you a prize today as you have already answered, already won the last time. So we cannot answer. You wouldn't get a prize, extra prize. So one prize per participants. Congratulations, Priyanshu. So yeah. So now we can see we got our purple background, we got our buttons, we got our text, and it is aligned well. But still, see there's no white space between. Like you can see there are no white spaces, but in the design we have a white spaces around. So how do we do that? So I told you that this part is the row. This entire thing is the row, the button and the text, and above it there is a surface. Okay. The surface, the violet thing is the surface. Okay. So we need to add some paddings to get that white thing. Okay. So let's just the horizontal. So let's just see. doesn't look like design. So any idea where did I miss? I think it should be horizontal. No initial maintenance code. Okay, so now you can see there's hello Android and hello Android card. So now we want another card, hello Compose. So let's just copy this one. So as you can see in the preview part, like preview is something which you get on the right screen as preview. Okay, so if I remove this from the preview, you won't get anything. You won't see it. You won't be able to see anything. Okay. So every composable we put in here will be displayed on the left hand side, on the right hand side. Now we want greeting called compose. So why is it not showing? So does anyone have any idea why it's not visible? Okay, I see a lot of questions. Uh, so everyone is after swags. Yeah, swags are cool. Okay, congratulations, Shreya. You have given the right answer. Congratulations, Shreya Vishwas. So, does anyone have any idea like why is it not appearing here? We have written both the greetings, right? So why is it not showing? Yes, definitely, Sudhanshu. We can wrap it. So let's just see if it works. Spec. Yeah, now it's showing. So instead of writing this multiple times, the code rule is dry. Do not repeat yourself. So let's just wrap it in a single composable instead of writing the column and all. So let's just wrap it in a single composable. What should we name this? Greetings. S taken will take nothing else. It will taken all. now we got our hello Android, hello Compose. So now, okay. So we want something like this. So if we, so now we have pretty much done the layout part, like rows and the columns. So basically, you can create anything with columns and rows. Okay. So any layout can be constructed using columns and rows. So let me show you one beautiful design made with just columns and rows. So this is one example. These are all created using columns and rows. To keep it simple, I have just used the basic one. So I can explain you the code, but you can definitely check that out for yourself and try to do it. Because on 16 we will have to showcase our app, so definitely you can use this design or anything you like. And so this is see, this is also created using rows and columns. So this is a text field. Okay, so this is a text field, and it has one icon and one text. Okay, and similarly in this rows we have multiple widgets. So this is also a row with multiple widgets, and inside this row we have columns. Like columns means this one, this image and this text. So this is a single composable. So we can see. So this is a component. So it has a column. Okay, so the column contains the top one part, the image, and the second one is text. So as you can see, the column and the image and the text. So inside the column we have an image and text. Okay, and these are both aligned horizontally, horizontally centered. Okay, so this is something. So you can break your app into several components, and then you can add all the components in a single composable function to make it a screen. So you can see this is the app screen, and we have decomposed into several small components to make it easier to test, and the code readability is also good if we decompose it to small composables. Similarly, for this card, we can use rows and columns. So you can see this is just a single row with uh, with two elements. One is the image, and another one is text. Okay, let's just see. Yeah, see. So here's the surface. The white part is the surface, and there's a row with image and text. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can just ask me in the chat box. I'm not getting enough questions. Congratulations, Ronald. You're the winner for question three. Uh, yes, encapsulation is the right answer. Congratulations. You can definitely share some snacks with me on the final day. I won't mind. Okay, so So you can see there are different components. There are different composable methods for different components, like one for the search bar, another one for the this element, this image element, and this card element. And then we have wrapped every cards into a single component. Like you can see the favorite collections card grid, and then we have wrapped every uh, this image one in a single component, like in a row, align your body row, and then we just then we put every composable into a single composable. You can see the my suit preview. There's a scaffold and there's a home screen. Okay, so in the home screen, let me show you the home screen. So, oh yeah, in the home screen function, see, we have added first the spacer is for just adding some space. So you can see that above the search bar, there's a small space like 16 dB space, and then we have a search bar. So then we have a search bar. Uh, then we have a search bar. Then we have a home section. The home section consists of first align your body row, and then it is a favorite collection grid. Okay, so this is the so this align your body part is the this one, and then we have favorite collection card grid. Okay, then we have some spacer. So you can see that there's a small space between this, and then we have a bottom nav bar. So nav bar we have to add it in a scaffold. So scaffold is basically what wraps an entire app. So you can see here. I'll show you here. See the scaffold. Scaffold is basically the wrapper of the entire app. So this whole thing is the scaffold. Okay. So we can add a scaffold. See, we have to every time we add an app bar, we have to add in the scaffold. Okay. So see, we have added a navigation bar, bottom bar. So we have to add it in the scaffold. Okay. Because in every screen of the app, this will remain in the app. Okay. So it won't go away with the screen. So this will be in every screen of the app. Okay. So that's why we have to add it in the scaffold. Okay. Then in the scaffold we can add home screen or we can add different screens. Okay. So the navigation part will be covered in the next session. Today's we are limiting our session to the layouts and state part only. Uh, so guys, if you have any question, you can just ask me. Can we use composable like usable? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, composables are basically reusable components. Yes to that. Yeah, in Flutter we have widgets, and this Jetpack Compose we have composables. It's just the same as the yeah. Even the state and the building part is also the same. Like in Flutter, when when anything changes, like if a state changes, it will rebuild the widgets. And in Jetpack Compose also, if a state changes, so the compose function is again it is called recomposition. So the widget is built again. Okay. So next we have covered the layout part. So next we have states. So states is basically where you store some data. Okay, it's not the database part, but it's for the UI part. So basically, if we see this that we have created, okay. So you can see we have a button called show mode. We have two buttons, show mode. Okay. So what happens if we click the button? Okay. So we want something like it will just expand in the bottom and it will show less if it is expanded, and it will show more if it is not expanded. Okay. So we can add state in the compose using uh, basically you will say that we can use why not use variables, because we can just simply write like this. So if it is expanded, So initially it is not expanded, so we can definitely, we will say that we can create something like a variable, and if it is click, so we can just simply write. But this won't work in the Jetpack component. Why? Because see, building the entire widgets is not so efficient. Okay, so it takes a lot of memory and CPU to rebuild each component of the app. Okay, so if we use variables, then it will construct the entire widget. So if something changes here, it will just reconstruct all the things in the application. So we don't want something like this. So that's why states are used. So how it works is, so if something changes in this state, it will only rebuild this widgets and not these widgets. So that's why we need to declare states instead of variables, because variables doesn't reflect the changes. So if we use variables as the state, it will be very difficult and it will be very inefficient. So and it won't be reflected in the UI. That's why we use states. So states is basically the state of an app. Okay, state of a widget actually. So if we click on show more, it will show less, and if we click on this show more, it will show less. Okay, so we can create a state using mutable state of. So it will, so this function takes in a default state. So what should be the initial state of the button? What should be the initial state? Then we have to wrap it inside the remember. So remember basically means the remember this state. Okay. So whenever we write this equals to sign, okay. So we have to access this value by expanded dot value. Okay. So you can interact with the widget using this button, this interactive button. So now nothing is happening because I haven't linked it to anything. So we have hard coded this as show more. We need something like if it is expanded, it will show less, and if it is not expanded, then only it will show more. So we can write something like if it is expanded, it will show less. If the expanded dot value is true, then it will show less. Otherwise, it will show. It is it is not expanded. Let's see. It should be not expanded. So now if we click on this button, show more, show less. So you can see the state is changing. Okay. So initially it is false. So it is initially if we rebuild this, yeah, yeah. So initially it is false. Okay. So initially it is false. So if it is false, okay. So if it is false, it will show more. Okay. And if it is true, it will show less. And whenever we click this button, it will just toggle the value. So if it is false, it will change to true, or whenever it is true, it will turn to false. Okay. So when we are clicking, uh, the, the value of the expanded toggles. Okay. But there's a problem. What is the problem? See, whenever we are using equals to this assignment operator, there's a problem. We have to every time we have to write expanded dot value. But this is something I think it's not. It doesn't look so good. So, so there's one more operator in the Kotlin. We can use something called by instead of using the equals to sign. We can use by. Okay, so whenever we write by, we won't need anything dot value thing. We can just simply pass the expanded, and it will work. Why is it showing error? Why is it showing error? Okay, we have a winner. Okay, congratulations, Sudhanshu, on the first correct answer. But since you have already won the prize, so only one prize for one participant. So, Manilipa, you are getting the swags for the second correct answer. So, congratulations. Why is it showing error? Did I miss something? Okay, why is it showing error? Should go. Okay, now it will work. There were some import errors. Oh god. Okay, now you can see we don't have to write the expanded dot value. We can just simply pass on expanded and it will work. See, now we don't have to pass expanded dot value every time. We can just simply write expanded. See, it's working. Have any questions? So please, guys, if you have any questions, you can write it in the chat box, and I'll try to answer them. Okay. So now, what we want something like if we click on the button, it will just expand. Okay. it will just this thing, this blue part will expand. Okay, we want something like this. So how do we do that? We can do that using states. We just need one state. So if it is expanded, it will have more padding, and if it is not expanded, it will just have a normal padding. Okay, so let's just if it is expanded. If it expanded, it will have some padding. So maybe. And the next parameter it will take the animation spec. Animation spec means which type of animation do you want. Okay. So here we will use spring. This is the most common animation type, spring. And in the spring part, it takes in, you can see, it will take two parameter damping ratio and stiffness. So damping ratio is so it basically means how much bouncy we want. So let's just set to the medium bouncy. Let's just set it to lower for now. And now we want some padding. Where should we add the extra padding? In the column part or the row part? Does anyone have? Okay, this I see a lot of questions is here. Which media format is not supported by Android? Okay. Congratulations, Shurajit, for the correct answer. But since you have already won the swag one time, you cannot have it for the second time. So congrats, Satyaki, for winning the swags for the second correct answer. Congratulations. Adding, add the extra padding here. Add the padding in the extra padding. Add the bottom padding. Add extra padding. missing, guys? Let's just see if it works. Yeah, it's working. Method. Okay, so now you can see it's working. Show more, show less. We can increase the bouncy thing using this damping ratio. So if we do something like high high bouncy, it will be more bouncy. Be more bouncy. It is too much actually. So we will go for the medium one. So okay. So guys, do you have any questions? So guys, do you have any questions regarding this, regarding the state or the recomposition? So see, what is recomposition? So whenever a state changes, what Jetpack does is it just repaint everything. Okay, so if this is changes, so this Android greeting, if you press show mode, so in this card, so a state changes. Okay, so whenever a state changes, it will just rebuild this part. Okay, the Android, the greeting Android part. Okay, so whenever a state changes, it will just recompose this function. It will run this function again. So this is what recomposition is. So basically, it will rebuild this component. So this is what recomposition is. Uh, yeah. So suppose in the real world scenario, it can be something like the API call and all. So whenever we are getting something from the API, we want something. We want new data. We don't want the old data. Okay. So whenever a state changes, so whenever we call the API, it will just update your UI with the new data. Okay. So that's what a real life scenario is. We use state for that. So whenever we are calling the API, we have to add the data in the state so that it can be reflected to the UI. That's pretty much it. So now, if you run this app on a physical device, uh, you will see that whenever we are changing the orientation of the app, uh, this will just it will just reset all the states. Okay, so now you can see there's one state open and one is closed. So, okay, so the one is expanded true, and the second one is expanded false. So, but when you rotate the screen of the phone, or whenever you switch from dark mode to light mode, this state doesn't remain. This state will vanish. Okay, so it will be reset to the default state. So it will be again set to false, and this will be set to false as well. So what if we want something that cannot be changed using by the device orientation or such? Okay, so what we can, so there's a function. Okay, like we set the state by the remember part. Okay, so we can do something like remember saveable. Is yeah, remember saveable. So what it does is, even if you change the device orientation or change the state of a device, the state inside the app won't change. So whenever if we switch the app from dark mode to night mode, it won't change. It will simply the state will remain. Okay. Okay, we have a winner for the question number 6. Yeah, congratulations, Sita Muir, for winning a swag. Too much swags for this event. Let's see. You guys can definitely share one or two with me. That would be great. So, so this much about the basic states. We are not going to cover the advanced state since this is a beginner level session. So we are just limiting us to the basic state functionalities. Okay. So guys, if you have any questions, ask. Mhm. So guys, how are you liking these sessions? So how is the session? The feedback would be great. Okay, I missed one thing. I think there's one more layout I need to discuss. Yeah, there's one. There are two layouts actually. The one is the lazy column and one is the lazy row. Okay, so basically, if you're familiar with the native Android development, uh, so there's one something called a recycler view in which we can just put on the list of the things and we can just. It is very efficient for large quantities of components. Okay. So in Jetpack Compose, it is very easy to create a list view, like the recycler view. It's similar to the recycler view, and it is very easy. It is very easy as compared to the normal recycler view. Okay. So what we can do is, I think we missed some adding here. Suppose you want names, we can just put in. I think it should work. Okay. Yeah, fine. Okay. So here we have two items. So it is. So we can write something like this. But what if we have so many items that won't fit in the screen? That's where the lazy layouts come in. So you have seen like in this app, there's a lazy layout because see this row won't fit in a single screen. Okay. So if I start the interactive mode, you can see that we can scroll through this. Okay. So this is something in the native Android we can do this in the recycler view, and in the Jetpack Compose we can use something like lazy layouts, like lazy rows, lazy columns. So this is so what is this? This is lazy row or lazy column? Has any idea? Lazy row or lazy column? What is this? Lazy row or lazy column? Yes, yes, it is lazy row. Yeah, we can like unknown length. What do you mean by unknown length? Like suppose we are in the real life scenario, we can take APIs like API. Yeah, if we get something from the API, yeah, we can use that in the lazy layout, like unknown length. Yeah, we will count. We will just pass on a list, and it will be iterated. Okay, so let me just show you for large number of lists. Suppose we take list of 1,000 elements. We are going to use lazy column. So lazy column. Lazy column takes in a modifier, then it will take a function. Okay, so lazy modifier takes a function called items. It will take a function called items, and in the item we can pass in the list items. In the items we can pass in the list. So what do we have here? We have the list of names. So we can pass the list of names as the parameter. Items equals to names. We can just map these names in list view. So now we can see we have 100 items. Not all 100 items can be displayed in the phone or in a device. That is too large. Okay. So what lazy layout does is it renders only the part which can be shown on the screen. Okay. So it is very efficient as compared to the normal column or row layout where we have lot of data. Okay. When we have a lot of data, we use lazy columns or lazy layouts because it is very expensive to render everything on the screen. Okay, so it renders only which that can be shown into screen. It doesn't waste its computing power in rendering those which cannot be screen, which cannot be previewed in the screen. Okay, now you can see as we scroll down, it just renders all the things. Okay, so we have 1,000 items. See, there are 1,000 and it is scrollable. So whenever we are scrolling this list, it just renders the uh, other elements. Like, see, up till the 45 it is rendered, and whenever we scroll, it renders the next elements. Okay, see, and every Android Studio is eating up my RAM. So this is what lazy layout is, and we have used lazy column since we want to scroll down the list. If we want to scroll sideways, then we will use lazy rows instead of lazy columns. So we can show you the same, just the name is different. Lazy row. To see. Now we can scroll sideways. Okay. Now we can scroll sideways. Uh, is there a lazy grid? Yes, there is a lazy grid. Uh, where is your Yes, Shatnik, you are right. Yeah, definitely. There are many layouts available. You can check out the official documentation of Jetpack Compose. There you can explore more widgets and elements. We are keeping it as simple as possible to make it understandable for everyone. So thank you all. So if you so this much for today. So if you have any questions, feel So for the final day, okay, so for the final day, that's on 16. So the folks who have completed the app, so definitely those who have created, they can showcase their app on the final day, and we have some awesome prizes for the top winners. And the folks who have created the app, and they can share the repo on the GitHub. So the repo should be on the GitHub, okay, so that we can verify that it is your app and your and you have created the app, okay. And folks who have won the quizzes will get direct passes to the Android Study Jams final to collect their swags. Okay, so those who have won the swags, they should come on 16th. Uh, we will email you the details of the venue and all, but you should come on 16th to collect the swags. Okay, and the folks who complete the app, they need to share a GitHub repo, and they will get direct entry to the final event, that is on 16th. Okay. Plus, we have a big event, upcoming event, Cloud Community Days. It's going to be something like Dev Fest, so it's going to be massive, and you will get entries to that as well. Plus, more swags. Probably which link? GitHub repo link. Yeah, you have to submit the GitHub repo link. That's what you're asking. And for the final app, if you use something like cloud like Firebase or Cloud Functions, you will definitely get a chance to showcase it in Cloud Community Days. And maybe we have swags for that too. I think we have some swags for special cloud integrations. And one more thing, no one gets the double swag. So if you're winning in the quiz and completing the app, they will get only one swag. So definitely we won't get double swag. So even if the apps which use cloud technologies will definitely be showcased, and even if you don't even if you won't use the cloud thing, we will showcase the top three apps in the Cloud Community Days event. Okay, and you have to record a video of 1 minute for showcasing. Okay, I think we're done here. You can't end offline sessions. Okay, we will try to do it in the hybrid mode if it is possible. I will contact with the moderators and the organizers. If it is possible, then we will try to conduct in the hybrid mode, like both in offline and online mode. We will definitely give you the answer in the next session. So please tune in. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you for attending the sessions. I don't think anyone has any questions. Anyone has more questions? So okay, so fine. Thank you for attending. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anubhav, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Shatnik, for moderating. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all. It was nice. Thank you.